Hey, what's up? It's Jeff here. Heading out to the DMV. Fun trip. Got to renew my registration, and I missed the deadline to do it online, so that's my morning. But listen, I want to shoot a video today about caring deeply. You know, lately I've been sort of focused on studying what, for lack of a better term, what I call cold fire. You know, a lot of times if I go to the gym, I listen to music that's kind of like pump up music, or if I'm getting ready to tackle my day, maybe shoot videos, maybe write some copy, build a funnel, whatever. You know, I do things like jumping jacks or push-ups and, you know, air box, and just try to get pumped up. And lately I've been thinking about really trying to more engage my mind with you know, again, I'm sort of making up the language here, but like cool fire, or sort of that white hot, like almost like seething, burning, pressured, high, like pressurized intensity. So for example, at the gym lately, I've been, instead of listening to like, you know, typical pump you up music, I've been listening to like Rachmaninoff preludes that have like this like roiling, you know, urgency and like almost heat to them. And it's just a totally different headspace. And what it's helped me really hone in on is that depth of passion, that depth of intensity in the way we approach our life in the world and why we get the results. And it's something that I naturally gravitate towards. And I was thinking back over, you know, I just had my 10-year anniversary since I became an online entrepreneur, and really since I just started hit rock bottom in my life and pivoted and said, I want to do different things. I want to have a different life. And what I realize is, well, and I'll tell you when this came to a head, was actually this morning at the gym. I actually listened to Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech on audio loop while I lifted weights. And it was the most intense, moving, like powerful experience I've had in a long time. I actually like almost like got chills and teared up a couple times. Like just the voice, his voice and his intensity and his passion and the deepness about which he cared about his cause. And it was an amazing cause. But the reason Martin Luther King was such a great man wasn't because he had such a great cause. He did have a great cause, but the reason he was such a great man was because he cared so deeply about his cause. He was willing to put his life on the line for his cause. He was willing to, not just his life in the sense that he was assassinated, but his whole life was consumed by this cause. It was laid bare for all the world to see, for this cause that he believed in so deeply. And you could hear it in his voice. He didn't speak, he sung. He literally sung about it. When you listen to that speech, I'd never listened to the whole thing all the way through. And I saw some like racist nonsense on Facebook this morning and was moved to like just listen to it and try to understand the origins of this whole world we live in, you know, the time we live in now. And, you know, this isn't a video about that, but here's what I really grasped is, when you care so deeply about something, it creates its own form of energy. You know, 10 years ago, maybe it's 11 years now, 2008. So 11 years ago, I was at rock bottom in my life, and I got involved in a movement online that was all about setting people free from the trap of time for money trading, you know, the traditional employment cycle. You know, one of the reasons I had hit rock bottom is because I'd always naturally resisted getting a job, working for someone else, building someone else's dream. And that had kind of bottomed me out because I'd had the cause, but I hadn't had the passion. Like the cause was noble. I don't want to work for someone else. I want to do my own thing. I want to be empowered. I want to be self-determined. I want to create my own life. But I didn't care. I thought that it was my 20s and life is easy and I could just kind of drift through and wonder why this stuff wasn't working. And finally, I hit rock bottom and I had that shake up moment in my life, and I realized like I am not playing intensely enough. And that's the only thing that changed. And at that time, I ended up joining an online marketing community of affiliate marketers. They had about 50,000 affiliates. I remember my ID number when I joined was like 40 something thousand. They had sequential ID numbers. My affiliate ID was like 40 something thousand, and then over the next year it continued to grow 50, 60,000 people. In 18 months, after 18 months, I was the number 3 marketer in that whole community. And what's cool about affiliate marketing and that business model was everybody had the same pages to work with, the same basic platform to work with, the same starting point. Nobody was better, nobody was worse, nobody was, went to the right school, nobody had the right skin color, nobody was the right age. The system didn't care. Everybody had the same starting point. And in 18 months, I was number 3 out of, at that time, over 50,000 people. And for the next 2 years that I did that business, I just stayed in the top 3. I never fell below number 3 as long as I did that business. And at times I was number 1. And it was because, I truly believe it was because I think I cared the most about the mission of what that community and that program stood for, which was setting people free. I wasn't the smartest. I wasn't the best copywriter. I certainly didn't present the best on camera or on webinar. I had kind of a weird nasal voice. Like, I'm not the best looking guy. I'm fairly disorganized. My presentations were often a mess, but I cared so much about the mission of setting people free, starting with myself, deeply rooted in self-interest. I wanted freedom. I wanted it more than money. And I wanted other people to have it. And I wanted them to have it more than money. I wanted them to want freedom more than they wanted money. And the problem that other people have when they get into something like that, or into so many things professionally, is they're looking for a hack to make money. And they don't find a deeper cause or a deeper purpose or passion or mission or whatever word you want to put on it. I cared so deeply about making money, but making money as a resource, as a tool to build an extraordinary life. I look at Zurley, my digital marketing agency right now. It's almost 6 years old now. It's five and a half years old. Started in 2014. Since I started Zurley, I've had roughly 10 either ex-employees or ex-associates go off and basically try to start the exact same company, using the exact same business model, exact same vendors, essentially try to do the exact same thing. And to a person, all of them have failed, including my original partner in the business, who, when we separated, tried to do it himself, failed. Why? Am I smarter? No. Am I, more gifted at digital marketing for small businesses? No. But I think that I probably more genuinely and more deeply care and believe in the mission of what we do. It's not just a hack to make money. It's about simplifying marketing for small business owners, because I genuinely believe that small business owners are the fabric of our country, that entrepreneurship is a worthy evangelical cause, that entrepreneurship powers the engine of our country, it powers the engine of progress, it creates the best possibilities for people's lives, better than trading time for money, better than working jobs, better than building the dream of entrepreneurs by being employees. And I'm not saying it has to be for everyone, but I believe that there is, just like everybody doesn't need to fight in the military, everybody doesn't need to preach for a religious organization, everybody doesn't need to volunteer for a nonprofit. The world doesn't work if everybody all do the same thing. But the people who do the entrepreneurial small business endeavor, I believe, are a vital, essential, and frankly undervalued piece of our world. And Zurley tries to help them. And that's why we do what we do. Yes, it happens to be profitable. Yes, it happens to have made the Inc. 5000. Yes, it's completely done wonderful things for my life, but that's never been the starting point, and certainly that is not why the people that I couldn't do it without have been attracted to it. Nobody's attracted to a business saying, hi, my name's Jeff Lerner. I'd like to make a lot of money, and I'd like to invite you to come work for me and help me do that. Nobody's taking that job. But when people pay lip service to mission, they craft these mission statements that they go online and they Google how to write a mission statement, and they try to craft something that sounds nice. Listen, if you want to have success in this world, you do not have to be the smartest, you do not have to be the best looking, you do not have to be the most talented, you do not have to be the most athletic, you do not have to be the most popular, but you have to be the most passionate. I believe that. You have to care. You have to believe that the shit you do matters. And so many people, over the course of my career, the last 10 years, I've worked with a lot of people, and so often they're starting from the standpoint of how do I make money? How do I patch up my life? How do I get ahead? How do I turn a corner? Whatever. How do I change this situation? And it's all focused on them. And I get it. Fear, financial pressure, the world we live in, in the way that it foments fear, it drives self-focus. It drives us to be starting with our own needs first. And that's essential to some degree. But if you don't figure out how to care deeply about something that other people can also get enrolled in, caring deeply about, you're always going to be wondering why you're never getting critical mass to your cause and to the engine of your own life, because you can't do it alone. Your self-interest exists alone, but it can't be solved alone. And in order to get other people to align, you have to care. You have to care deeply. Anyways, I'm way over the time that I allotted for this video, and I'm glad we had this talk. I needed a little passion in my life before I head to the DMV. It'll help me get through that interaction, and I don't know. Peace out. We'll catch you next time.